Hello, Shalom. Welcome back. We'll be in day 73 of the Daily Bread. We'll be reading out Exodus 73, 2 Samuel 3, Psalm 77, Proverbs 11, and Luke 18. We'll be in the scriptures in 2009. Exodus 34 on page 94. And Yahweh said to Moshe, cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones, and I shall write on these tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke. And be ready in the morning. Then you shall come up in the morning to Mount Zion, and present yourself to me there on the top of the mountain. And let no man come up with you, and let no man be seen in all the mountain, and let not even the flock or the herd feed in the front of that mountain. And he cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones. Then Moshe rose early in the morning and went up to Mount Zion, as Yahweh had commanded him. And he took 2 tablets of stone in his hand, and Yahweh came down in a cloud and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name Yahweh. And Yahweh passed before him, and proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh, and El, and compassionate, and showing favor, patient, and great in loving commitment and truth, watching over loving commitment for thousands, forgiving crookedness, and transgression, and sin, but by no means leaving unpunished, visiting the crookedness of the fathers upon the children and the children's children to the 3rd and 4th generation. And Moshe hurried and bowed himself toward the earth and did obedience, and said, if now I have found favor in your eyes, O Yahweh, I pray, let Yahweh go in our midst, even though we are a stiff-necked people, and forgive our crookedness and our sin, and take us as your inheritance. And he said, see, I am making a covenant. And he, Yahweh, said, I am making a covenant before all your people. I am going to do wonders such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among whom you are shall see the work of Yahweh, for what I am doing with you is awesome. Guard what I command you today. See, I am driving you out from before you, the Amorite and the Hittite, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Pezerite, the Hivites, and the Israelites. Guard yourself. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land where you are going. Let it be a snare in your midst. But break down their slaughter places, and smash their pillars, and cut down their asherim. For you do not bow yourselves to another mighty one, for Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is jealous El, lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they whore after their mighty ones, and slaughter to their mighty ones, and one of them invites you, and you eat of his slaughterings, and you take of his daughters for your sons, and his daughters whore after their mighty ones, and make your sons whore after their mighty ones. Do not make a golden mighty one for yourselves. Guard the festival of Matzah. For 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and command as I commanded you. In the appointed time of the new moon of Abib, because in the new moon of Abib you came out of Mizraim. Everyone opening the womb is mine, and every firstborn among you, your livestock, whether bull or sheep, but the firstborn of the donkey you ransom with a lamb. And if you do not ransom, then you shall break his neck. Every firstborn of your sons shall ransom, and they shall not appear before me empty-handed. 6 days you work, but on the 7th you rest. In plowing time and in harvest you rest, and perform the festival of Shavuot for yourselves. And perform the festival of Shavuot for yourselves, of the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the festival of ingathering. Festival of Sukkot, it's also called. At the turn of the year. 3 times in the year all your men are to appear before the Master, Yahweh, the Elohim of Israel. For I dispose nations before you, and shall enlarge your borders, and let no one covet your land when you go up to appear before Yahweh, your Elohim 3 times in the year. Do not slay the blood of my slaughterings with leaven, and do not let the slaughtering of the festival of the Pesach remain until morning. Bring the first of the first fruits of your land to the house of Yahweh, your Elohim. Do not cook of any young goat in its mother's milk. And Yahweh said to Moshe, write these words, for according to the mouth of those words I have made a covenant with you and Israel. And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. And he did not eat bread, and he did not drink water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 words. And it came to be when Moshe came down from Mount Zion, while the 2 tablets of the witness were in Moshe's hands, when he came down from the mountain, that Moshe did not know that the skin of his face shone, since he had spoken with him, Yahweh. And Aaron and all the children of Israel looked at Moshe and saw the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moshe called out to them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned to him. And Moshe spoke to them. And afterwards all the children of Israel came near, and he commanded them all that Yahweh had spoken with him on Mount Zion. And when Moshe ended speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. And whenever Moshe went in before Yahweh to speak with him, he would remove the veil until he came out. And when he came out, he spoke to the children of Israel what he had been commanded. And the children of Israel would see the face of Moshe, that the skin of Moshe's face shone. And Moshe would put the veil on his face again until he went to speak with him, Yahweh. The end of Exodus 34. On to 2 Samuel chapter 3 on page 318. And the fighting between the house of Shaul and the house of David was long drawn out. But David was going on and was strong, and the house of Shaul was going on and was weak. And the sons were born to David in Hebron, and his firstborn was Amnon by Ammiel the Jezreelite, and his second Caleb, and by Abigail, the widow of Nabal and Carmelite, and the third Absalom, son of Micaiah, the daughter of Tamala, sovereign of Gershon, and the fourth Adion, son of Haggite, and the fifth Shephelite, son of Abital, and the sixth Yithram by David's wife Ella. These were born to David in Hebron. And it came to be there was fighting between the house of Shaul and the house of David, and Abner was strengthening himself in the house of Shaul. And Shaul had a concubine whose name was Ritzpah, daughter of Aiah. And Yishloth said to Abner, "Why have you gone to my father's concubine?" And Abner was very displeased at the words Ishbeth had, and said, I am a dog's head that belongs to Judah, and I show loving commitment to the house of Shaul your father, to his brothers and to his friends today, and have not let you fall into the hand of David, that you charge me today with a sin concerning this woman. Elohim does so to Abner, and more also. And if I do not do for David as Yahweh had sworn to him, to cause the rain to pass over from the house of Shaul, and to raise up the throne of David over Israel and over Judah, from Dan to Beersheba. And he was unable to answer Abner another word because he feared him. And Abner sent messengers on his behalf to David, saying, Whose is the land? Also saying, Make your covenant with me, and see, my hand is with you to bring all Israel to you. And David said, Good, I make a covenant with you. Only one matter I am asking of you. You do not see my face unless you first bring me Michal, daughter of Saul, when you come to see me. And David sent messengers to Osheth, son of Shaul, saying, Give me my wife Michal, to whom I became engaged for 100 foreskins of the Philistines. And Ishmael sent and took her from her husband, from Paleth, son of Laish. But her husband went with her to Bahurim, going on and weeping behind her. And Abner said to him, Go, turn back. And he turned back. And Abner had a word with the elders of Israel, saying, In time past you were seeking for David to be sovereign over you. And now do it, for Yahweh has spoken of David, saying, By the hand of my servant David, I saved my people Israel from the hand of the Philistines and the hand of their enemies. And Abner also spoke in the hearing of Benjamin. And Abner also went to speak in the hearing of David in Hebron all that seemed good in Israel, and all the house of Benjamin. And Abner and 20 men with him came to David at Hebron. And David made a feast for Abner and the men who were with him. And Abner said to David, Let me arise and go and gather all Israel to my master the sovereign, and let them make a covenant with you. and you shall reign over all that your being desires. And David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. And see, the servants of David and Joab came from a raid and brought much spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he had gone in peace. And Joab and all the army that was with him came, and they reported to Joab, saying, Abner son of Ner came to the sovereign, and he sent him away, and he has gone in peace. And Joab went to the sovereign and said, What have you done? See, Abner has come to you. Why is it that you sent him away, and he has already gone? You know that Abner son of Ner came to deceive you, to know your going out and your coming in, and to know all that you are doing. Joab then left David, and he sent messengers to Abner, who brought him back from the well of Sarai. But David did not know it. Thus Abner returned to Hebron, and Joab took him inside the gate to speak with him privately, and there struck him in the stomach, so that he died for the blood of Asahel his brother. And when David heard it afterwards, he said, My reign and I are guiltless before Yahweh forever of the blood of Abner son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and all his father's house, and let there never fail to be in the house of Joab one who has a discharge, or is a leper, or who is taking hold of a staff, or falls by the sword, or who lacks bread. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, killed Abner, because he had killed their brother Asahel at Gibeon in the battle. And David said to Joab and to all the people who were with him, Tear your garments, gird yourselves with sackcloth, and mourn for Abner. And sovereign David followed the coffin. And they buried Abner in Hebron. And the sovereign lifted up his voice and wept at the burial site of Abner, and all the people wept. And the sovereign sang a lament over Abner and said, Should Abner die as a fool dies? Your hands are not bound, nor your feet put in shackles. As one falls before the sons of evil, you fell. And all the people wept over him again. And all the people came to cause David to eat food while it was still day. But David swore, saying, Elohim do so to me, and more also, if I taste bread or whatever else till the sun goes down. And all the people took note of it, and it was good in their eyes, since whatever the sovereign did was good in the eyes of all the people. And all the people and all Israel knew that day that it had not been the sovereign's intent to kill Abner son of Ner. The sovereign also said to his servants, Do you know that a prince and a great one has fallen in Israel today? And I am weak today, though anointed sovereign, and those men, the sons of Sarah, are all too harsh for me. Let Yahweh repay the evildoer according to his evil. End of 2 Samuel 3. Moving on to Psalm 77. Page 689. My voice is to Elohim, and I cry. My voice is to Elohim, and he listened to me. In the day of my distress, I sought Yahweh. My hand was stretched out in the night, and it did not cease. My being refused to be comforted. I remembered Elohim and groaned. I complained, and my spirit grew faint. You ceased the watches of my eyes. I was too troubled to speak. I had thought about the days of old, the years long past. I remember my song in the night. I meditate within my heart, and my spirit searches diligently. Would Yahweh reject forever and never again be pleased? Has his loving commitment ceased forever? Has the promise failed for all generations? Has El forgotten to show favor? Has he shut up his compassions in displeasure? Salah. And I said, This is my grief, that the right hand of the Most High has changed. I remember the deeds of Yah, for I remember the wonders of old, your wonders of old. And I shall meditate on your work and talk of your deeds. Your ways, O Elohim, is in a set apartness. Who is a great El like Elohim? You are the El who does wonders. You have made known your strength among the peoples. By your arm you have redeemed your people, the sons of Jacob and Joseph. Salah. The waters you saw, O Elohim, the waters saw you, that were afraid. The depths also trembled. The clouds poured out water. The heavens rumbled. Also, your arrows flashed back and forth. The voice of your thunder rolled along. Lightning lit up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was in the sea, and your path in the great waters, and your footsteps were not known. You did lead your people like a flock by the hand of Moshe and Aaron. End of Psalms 77. On to Proverbs 11 on page 738. A false scale is an abomination to Yahweh, but a perfect weight is his delight. Pride comes, then comes shame, but with the humble is wisdom. The integrity of the straight one guides them, but the slipperiness of treacherous destroys them. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. Make his way straight, but by his own wrongness the wrong one falls. The righteous of the straight ones delivers them, but the treacherous are caught by greed. When a wrong man dies, expectancy perishes, and the abomination of the wicked shall be lost. The righteous is delivered from distress, and the wrong one takes his place. The defiled one destroys his neighbor with his mouth, but the righteous is delivered by knowledge. When the righteous prosper, the city rejoices, and when the wrong perish, there is shouting. By the blessing of the straight, the city is exalted, but by the mouth of the wrong it is overthrown. He who lacks heart despises his neighbor, but a man of understanding keeps silence. A slanderer is a revealer of secrets, but one with a trustworthy spirit conceals a matter. Without guidance, the people fall, but in a great counselor there is safety. He who is a guarantor for a stranger suffers harm, but one who hates shaking hands and a pledge is safe. A woman showing favor obtains esteem, but ruthless men obtain riches. A loving, committed man is rewarding his being, but he who is cruel troubles his own flesh. The wrong one earns false wages, but the one sowing righteousness a true reward. Thus righteousness leads to life, and one pursuing evil to his own death. The perverse of heart are an abomination to Yahweh, but the perfect in the way, capitalized, are his delight. hand to hand, the evil one does not go unpunished. But the seed of the righteous shall escape. Like a ring of gold in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who lacks good sense. The desire of the righteous is only good. The expectancy of the wrong is wrath. There is one who scatters, yet increases more, and one who withholds more than is right. But it comes to poverty. The generous being is enriched, and he who waters is also watered himself. The people curse him who withholds grain, but blessing is the one on the head of him who sells it. He who earnestly seeks good seeks what is pleasing, but to him who seeks evil, it comes to him. He who trusts in his riches falls, but the righteous flourish like a leaf. He who troubles his own house inherits wind, and the fool is servant to the wise of heart. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he who is winning is wise. See, the righteous in the earth shall be rewarded. How much more the wrong and the sinner? End of Proverbs 11. Moving over to Luke 18. And he, Yeshua, spoke a parable to them, that they should always pray and not lose heart, saying, in a certain city there was a certain judge, not fearing Elohim, nor regarding man, and a widow that was in that city, and she came to him, saying, do right to me on my adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterwards he said within himself, even if I do not fear Elohim, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubles me, I shall do right to her, lest by her continual coming she wears me out. And the master said, hear what the unrighteous judge said. And shall Elohim do right by the means to his own chosen ones, who are crying out day and night to him, and being patient over them? I say to you that he shall do right to them speedily. But when the Son of Adam comes, shall he find a belief on the earth? And he also spoke this parable to some who relied on themselves that they were righteous and looking down on others. 2 men went up to the set apart place to pray, the one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood and began to pray with himself this way, Elohim, I thank you that I am not like the rest of men, swindlers, unrighteous, adulterers, or even as this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give tithes of all that I acquire. But the tax collector, standing at a distance, would not even raise his eyes to the heavens, but was beating his breast, saying, Elohim, show favor unto me, a sinner. I say to you, this man went down to his house, declared right, and rather than the other, for everyone who is exalting himself shall be humbled, and one who is humbling himself shall be exalted. And they also brought infants to him, to Yeshua, to touch them. But his taught ones, seeing it, rebuked them. And Yahweh called them to him. But Yeshua called them to him and said, let the children come to me, and do not forbid them. For of such is the reign of Elohim. Truly I say to you, whoever does not receive the reign of Elohim as a little child shall certainly not enter into it. And a certain ruler asked him, saying, Good teacher, what shall I do to inherit everlasting life? And Yeshua said to him, Why do you call me good? No one is good except one, Elohim. You know the commands. Do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal, do not bear false witness, respect your father and your mother. And he said, All these I have watched over the certain ruler. All these I have watched over from my youth. And hearing this, Yeshua said to him, Yet one you lack. Sell all that you have and distribute it to the poor, and you shall have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. But when he heard this, he became intensely sad, for he was extremely rich. And when Yeshua saw that he had become intensely sad, he said, How hard is it for those who have money to enter into the reign of Elohim? For it is easier for a camel to enter through a needle's eye than for a rich man to enter into the reign of Elohim. And those who heard it said, Who is able to be saved? And he, Yeshua, said, What is impossible with men is possible with Elohim. And Cephas said, Peter, See, we all left all and followed you. And he said to them, Truly I say to you, there is no one who has left house or parents or brothers or wife or children for the sake of the reign of Elohim, who shall not receive many times more in this present time and in the age to come everlasting life. And taking the 12 aside, he said to them, See, we are going up to Jerusalem, and all that has been written by the prophets about the son of Adam shall be accomplished. For he shall be delivered up to the nations, and shall be mocked and insulted and spat on. And having flogged him, they shall kill him. And on the third day he shall rise again. But they understood none of this, and the word was hidden from them. And they did not know what was being said. And it came to be that he was coming near Jericho, that as he was coming near Jericho, that a certain blind man was sitting by the way begging. And hearing a crowd passing by, he asked what it meant. And they reported to him that Yeshua of Nazareth was passing by. And he cried out, saying, Yeshua, son of David, have compassion on me. And those going before rebuking him that he should be silent. But he was crying out much more, Son of David, have compassion on me. And Yeshua stopped and commanded him to be brought to him. And when he had come near, he asked him, saying, What do you wish me to do for you? And he said, Master, to receive my sight. And Yeshua said to him, Receive your sight. Your belief has saved you. And immediately he received his sight and was following him, praising Elohim. And all the people seeing it gave praise to Elohim. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible. Talk to the Father.